Hello everyone. Welcome to our new webinar. I'm really excited to see so many people joining our live now. First, I would like to know if you can see me and hear me well. And please text a quick yes in the comments so we can be sure of that. Yes. So I want to say welcome to Ankur, welcome to all the people who's joining. Antonia, we already starting the webinar. We're going to wait 1 more minute so people can join. We're going to wait a little bit longer for people to connect. Welcome, Robert, Tina. Thank you for comment. Sophia, hello everyone. So I want to introduce myself. I am Dina Berrios. I am a content and social media specialist at Label Known. And I am very happy to be your host today. While we wait, I want to tell you that today we have two speakers who are experts in their fields. The first one will be Twan Hartog, the Managing Director of Label Known. He will tell us a bit about how AI can help grow marketing agencies. And then we'll have Stefan Reichenbach, a PPC and Brand Specialist, who will dive deeper into how to conduct a Google Ads account audit and how AI can help improve it. At the end, we will have a Q&A session, so feel free to leave your comments and questions during the session, and we will have time to address them at the end. So now, I will hand it over to Twan to start today's webinar.
Hello, thanks Dina, and thanks to you for joining us today. I believe this is already our fourth webinar. And by far, we have the most amount of registrants, over 650, I believe. And I can see 134 online. So that's great. So yeah, now more than ever, I'm excited to host this one. Just a quick intro about me. My name is Twan. I'm the Managing Director of Label Known. And we're a white label marketing agency, meaning that we operate under the brand of other agencies. At the moment, we're a team of about 25 digital marketing experts, working from sunny Valencia, Spain. And we serve mostly agencies from the north of Europe. So think about the Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, Germany. And we help them with providing resources on data and analytics, SEO, SEA, and paid social as well. So, as Dina said, we also brought Stefan on board of this webinar, one of our senior specialists at Label Known. He has a solid background in brand management and cross-channel campaigns. So we're excited to have him here. And the last thing I want to mention for now is that the webinar is a part of a series of webinars. So please follow us, subscribe to our webinar. The topics are related to how you can improve your agency. So they're relevant if you're a decision maker trying to improve the performance basically, but also if you're a specialist wanting to obtain more knowledge. So yeah, let's now dive into the content. So the key topics of today are that first we cover how to maximize your agency growth potential with AI, then how to choose the right AI tooling, followed by what is ChatGPT. A traditional account audit will be handled, then ChatGPT account audit possibilities. We follow to the support around Google advertising, the future of AI advertising, which will be more all around, and then we end with the Q&A. All right. So yeah, we've been talking about this in the previous webinars. The digital marketing landscape continues to evolve, right? So it's crucial for agencies to stay ahead of the curve. And with the rise of AI, we witnessed the transformation in the world of advertising, and we believe it's the next big thing, and to focus on actually already the current big thing to focus on, right? AI has the remarkable capabilities to analyze like massive amounts of data, identify trends, and provide insights that can significantly impact the success of your agency. But before we talk more about how it can help with Google Ads, let's take a step back and see why using AI is now more important than ever. So the digital advertising landscape has undergone a huge transformation in the last years, you know, with consumers like spending more and more time online and companies struggling to you know, for the attention. Competition has become more important than ever. And in this environment, the traditional approaches to advertising, you know, can fall short to achieving the desired results. So as most of us know by now, AI has the ability to process and analyze, you know, vast amounts of data at speeds that were once unimaginable. So this means that, you know, it can gain insights that could otherwise remain hidden, you know, like revealing trends, patterns, and opportunities that, you know, human analysis might miss. But AI is not just an information provider. It empowers you to make decisions. So with the right AI tools, you can base the strategies on data-backed predictions, you know, rather more than just guesswork. And this translates into campaigns that are more targeted, more efficient, and ultimately more successful. So at Label None, we try out a lot of different tools and try to adopt it within our processes. And you know, we get surprised almost every day by the capabilities and the results. And we want you to experience the same. So by embracing the AI capabilities, your agency, you know, will gain a competitive advantage. So just a quick reference to a study of Salesforce. It states that businesses that use AI in the marketing have seen a 52 increase in the ROI, 50% increase in the customer engagement. So yeah, if you want to know more about the study and in-depth information, please leave your email in the comments or get in touch with me. Then we'll get back to you. But for now, you know, the integration of AI into the agency's operation is not just a trend. I hope you realize that, just as me, that it's a necessity. So it's about seizing the full potential of your client's data and making wiser decision. So as AI continues to shape the digital landscape, making informed choices about the AI tools you integrate into your agency's workflow is essential. Because if you make the wrong decision, it can actually lead to the opposite effect that you're trying to achieve, which is more effectiveness and efficiency. So I'll provide in this slide some context on the first steps you can take on choosing the right AI tooling. So it's very rich, very diverse, lots of toolings out there, lots of plugins out there, lots of platforms out there, you know, from predictive analytics to natural language processing. Like, each system and tool has its own, let's say, strength and applications, but the key is aligning them with your goals, you know, in order to the right capabilities. So the first step, obviously, in this path is to identify your needs, the agency's needs. So, for example, are you looking to enhance ad targeting, or more to optimize bidding, or automated reporting, or something else? You know, the precision with what you define your specific requirements, in my opinion, forms the fundamentals to choose the right AI tech stack. So then keep in mind that, you know, every agency's objectives are unique, and some might prioritize like content generation. Some might be more interested in audience segmentation or targeting. Maybe some more like bringing more personalization into the messaging, or even automating like repetitive tasks. So finally, like once that's done, consider what processes and tasks can be streamlined by AI, and then prioritize. Because yeah, there's a model that you might be aware of. It's called the Moscow model, which is basically a prioritization technique used to categorize the requirements in basically must have, should have, could have, and won't have. And this helps you to focus on critical elements for the adoption of AI. So my advice is not to just focus on the short-term goals, use prioritization, and really we consider your agency's long-term vision. Because choosing the right tool, like I said before, it has the potential to grow with you and alongside the agency and your needs. So these were just some initial steps to get into your agency on the, let's say, the AI train. There's a whole world of possibilities waiting for you. So if you're curious to dive deeper, don't hesitate to drop me a message or connect on LinkedIn. Shoot me an email, twan@labelnone.com. I'm all ears and happy to chat about it. And before I pass the mic to my colleague Stefan, I've got some exciting news to share. Basically, together with our specialists at Label None, we're going to launch a brand focused on AI marketing consultancy services. So one of our services is basically helping agencies pick and assemble the right tooling, the right stack. As we've discussed earlier, because every agency is unique and it must be tailored to the needs. Because the reason behind it is that with all the experience that we've gathered working alongside with all the agencies and the knowledge we have obtained, we're eager to share these learnings and to help other agencies thrive as well. So our specialists will be very keen to assist agencies in navigating the process of finding and integrating the right AI tools. And also we're building an exclusive AI marketing community that you can join. So yeah, super excited. Stay tuned. Last thing before I hand over the mic to Stefan, just for our upcoming webinars, we got a slight change because from here onwards, all things related to AI will be coming from the new brand, and then Label None, will on the other hand be like more focusing on how to help streamlining the operations and the organization of an agency. So yeah, thanks, and let's now dive into the main topic of the webinar, which is about how that we're about to unravel how AI is turning the game when it comes to optimizing your campaigns, with a special focus on Google Ads accounts. So without further ado, I'll hand over the mic to my colleague, Stefan.
Cool. Hello, everyone. My name is Stefan. As introduced already, I'm a brand and marketing manager here at Label None with around 12 years experience in the digital marketing space. So as long as it pretty much exists in the shape and form as we know it today. However, as we already experienced, it is going to change again very much dramatically. And I'm going to quickly present the slides, right? Trying to get the screen sharing. One moment, please. Sorry. No, I'm done. That was the right. Sorry. Can anyone see my screen? Yeah, we're good. Okay, sorry. Sorry for that. Like, just quickly wanted to introduce the topic by clarifying what ChatGPT is in the world of AI. Because as they did a very great job in actually positioning themselves as a brand, most people, or some people at least, do think that ChatGPT is basically AI. But as we can see here to the left, there's 10 different stages of artificial intelligence, and the actual ChatGPT is more found in the very bottom, which is the narrow AI, and the natural language processing models, as we also know. So it's not really yet the actual peak of the iceberg. So yeah, basically today is about, and also want to manage expectation on that front. I'm not an AI expert. There's better AI experts out there. However, I'm an advertising expert in the digital space for the last 12 years. Especially, I consider myself very experienced in the Google advertising platform. And so just to manage expectations, this is going to be showcasing how to use ChatGPT for optimizing Google Ads campaigns, and how we actually also take usage of the tool to optimize our own and our clients' campaigns, or agency clients' campaigns. So very briefly, in the first step here, just a traditional audit, what is it looking like? I'm going to quickly jump there to see how we operate traditionally on this. And just also want to make very clear that optimizing the performance of a Google Ads account or any other ads account is heavily relying on different links in the value chain of advertising different products and services. So as you can see to the side here with the little infographic, there is much more to an actual advertising success than just the actual advertising account. So we also always look way beyond the actual ad campaigns. So we have a look at the actual targeting group, the offer that's being offered, and also very much important, the conversion platform. So I just want to remind everyone that optimizing campaign success is not just taking place in the actual campaign manager. It is also very much a thing of brand itself, positioning, and very much so the ad creative, for example, and the conversion platform, aka in most cases the website. But yeah, without further ado, just real quick jump into our short version of our Google Ads account audits. And as you can see, there's just different things you have to go through in different frequencies in order to make sure that everything's still on par with your actual campaign objectives. So I don't want to bother you with this. We're actually going to still think about sharing this. Like, we have a very long version, which we like to think there's some specialties in there, which we don't necessarily want to give away yet. At least most of the people here feel like we should keep that to ourselves yet. But a smaller, light version we're going to actually share. And more important for you today, which we're going to dive in very soon, is the actual use of GPT for optimizing campaigns. And this document we're going to share with everyone who wants to have that shared with. And it's basically prepared prompts for the different tasks we're actually going to have a look in a second. So yeah, what was very important for me to point out that unfortunately, at least yet to this point, it's not possible to just plug in ChatGPT into a Google Ads account and give it access to all settings and tools. Yeah, simply because, well, obviously ChatGPT and Google are not friends. They have all their own tools in place, and so the actual integrated tool into Google Ads will be Google's own AI. So for the moment, it's not a fully automated process, and more likely an assistant that can help you either achieve better results in the same time or the same results in a quicker time frame. I think that's the main thing to do. So, but what GPT actually can do, and I think that's very powerful, is you can plug in campaign reports, actually still visible on my screen in GPT. I did this morning just to make sure that it's up to date, because this is such a dynamic field where things change literally overnight. And one example of that, you probably are familiar with the tool. There used to be, and there still are, many different plugins that are used to optimize the actual functionality of GPT. However, as time is progressing, ChatGPT itself is actually implementing most of those necessary and relevant tools into the actual tool itself. So where it used to be much more complicated to share data and links with ChatGPT, it's now fully integrated, and I'm going to quickly show you where this is done. I think it's a very important thing to check it out. It's in settings and beta, and if you go to beta features, you see basically two things where you can toggle the switch. And you see plugins. That's the one I was mentioning before. Feel free to check out the plugins. There is many good YouTube videos how to differentiate between a normal plugin and some actually useful plugins. However, also now, please check out at some point later after this how to leverage the advanced data analysis. This is what we're looking at today. So this here is already the latest version of ChatGPT 4. So it's the paid version using the, at the moment, in beta existing features. So without further ado, now we're going to actually do some work. As I said, like, I did this already before, but I'm going to still go through it step by step so that we all can see how, well, the magic, I still consider it, works. So what we can see here, basically, I took insight cards and overview cards directly out of the Google Ads Manager of one of our tests account we use for internal training reasons. So all these data points here and insights that I usually have to scroll through and actually make sense of it myself, I can relatively easily, meanwhile, just copy paste them in here. I'm not going to do it now, but it's literally drag, drop, and literally upload. And then together with a prompt, it is actually then giving super relevant advice and actionable advice on how to actually improve these campaigns. So I think that that's very, very powerful. And that's, to be fair, like at the moment, the most advanced stuff ChatGPT can do with Google Ads and how to optimize campaigns. However, if you break it down to individual tasks, it is also very, very powerful. So we're just going to have a look at a few of them, not all of them, because time frame is going to not be enough for that. But what we like to use the tool for a lot is actually just to get an initial market understanding of the given market. And for that, as I said, prepared several posts, and I did use this one here as the same one as I prepared for you guys to maybe check it out later. And it's always important to see that there's modifiers. So that's very important, that you just don't copy paste it and use it, but you actually put in the modifiers into the prompts. In this case, your market, your industry, maybe the country if you like, and also you provide a website link. As I said, it used to be difficult to input website links into ChatGPT. Now these days, it has just reached a very sophisticated level where they implemented those plugin features directly into the tool. So basically, as I said, like I used our own website here because we didn't get approval from one of our clients to share his data here. So I just used our own. I thought this makes more sense. So basically, it already provides you with an overview of what's going on in the industry, and it's really accurate, especially when we look down at benchmarks on main marketing KPIs, click-through rate, CPC, click cost per click, cost per lead, and cost per acquisition. It's shockingly accurate and also shockingly respectful towards different things like seasonality and so forth. So feel free to check it out for either your clients or yourself. It's very powerful. So the next one, which we use very, very often, and it comes in very powerful, especially if we're not necessarily super experts in the industry of the client. So sometimes there would be clients in our place where it's like pharmaceutical testing, whereas to be fair, like there's not everyone's necessarily an expert in that. So you gotta actually build up knowledge quickly in order to apply our marketing expertise to this very niche or industry. So as I said, like I used our own website here as an example. And I think very interestingly, it differentiates between the different services that we actually list on our website. Automatically, it gets it. And then more interestingly, later, if you then, the second prompt I have included for you in the Google Doc, ask it for delivering the 10 most relevant Google Ad Affinity or in-market audiences, it came up exactly with the ones that we came up ourselves before using the tool, maybe 8 months ago. So it's relatively powerful to use it as an audience identification tool, especially, as I said, if it's not your main business and you're working in it for 20 years already. So sometimes this is like very powerful to get up to pace and knowledge with the industry. So yeah, well, basically, and now here's an interesting example as well. We use it for keyword research quite a lot. In the first prompt, we were asking for categories for keywords, and now here we are actually asking for the finite keywords within those categories. And interestingly, here, like as you can see, it only provided 3 per thing, even though I asked for the 100 best and most relevant keywords to target our website, given all the information I already inputted above. So why do I say this? I want to just make clear that sometimes you need to actually ask ChatGPT again to perform the task that has originally been assigned, because it tries to save data points. It's true. So here again, because like, and the list would go on to hit the golden number of 100. That's what it says to me, but it didn't do it to save time and data. So, but I can ask again and say, hey, please reach the 100. And very interestingly enough, it now, and that's the first time I saw it, provides an actual CSV file. Oh, expired. Interesting. I downloaded this before, so that's good. What it did here, it provided a actual CSV file with all the 100 keywords in it, and we're gonna have a quick look at it so you see what it did. Here, that's literally the actual output it provided me. I just, since the session has expired, I couldn't download it again, but this is the very original file from the tool from ChatGPT based on the prompt, and it segmented it right, and it just very, very relevant keywords right there. Quick note on the average search volume. It did provide it, as you can see in the table here. I would be very careful with the actual search volumes because, just an honest advice. I would double and triple check them with other keyword tools, such as the normal keyword planner of Google itself or SEMrush, depending on which tools you're using and also which industries it's more or less accurate in. So there is some limitations to the work that you're going to be provided from ChatGPT. So fair enough. We're going to continue further down the road. We can do the same thing, by the way, for negative keywords, also hyper relevant. I would obviously encourage everyone to also have a negative keyword list. And also those, if we have a look here, like they're super relevant, like people who would look for jobs, people who would look for courses, DIY people who want to just know the salary. So there's lots of keywords here, which they are just incredibly, honestly, incredibly valuable to add to the negative list. And it just, without any real explanation or briefing, it just came up with it by itself. It's incredible. And please let us all remind ourselves that we're like, this is as worse, like as bad as it gets. Like this is the start of it. So it's like lots to be established still here, but obviously like incredibly powerful already. So again, like it already provided me the CSV list here. And I have now 100 keywords I can target, and I also have 100 negative keywords I can negativize. Always, and that's obviously a given, control and quality check the work that ChatGPT provides you. Well, simply because it's to be checked. But in many cases, most cases, it's very, very valuable addition at least. And well, also very powerful, and I don't want to go too deep in it because it's a very straightforward, simple thing. You can use the prompts that I have previously created for you, add your modifiers. In this case, I did not use our main homepage. I specifically targeted a subsegment of our homepage because obviously you want to keep it hyper relevant when targeting your ad sets towards the prospects. So in this case, what I ask it to do is literally for specifically PPC and search engine advertising to come up with headlines which are obviously below 30 characters. You need to actually tell that. And then also provide me with descriptions which have 60 to 90 characters. And as you see, it provided it, and it's also super relevant. And we're actually testing GPT-created ones against human-created ones, and there's just really nearly no difference. Well, not a noticeable difference and not a significant difference. So that's very, very interesting. And that obviously, like, as it's a language model, everything that's around creating text with the proper briefing, aka the prompt, is usually yielding great results. So we can do that for cycling extensions and obviously also for call-out extensions. I'm not going to go into detail here because I think it's pretty straightforward what it does here. But just real quick, you can see it's literally best practice. 24/7 support, no lock-in deals, intense results, low CPCs. Like it really, really understands its jam. It's for me, it's incredible. So yeah, finally, what I also wanted to show is like how it performs on actually a more comprehensive and larger task, such as creating an actual Google Ads strategy with a step-by-step implementation guide. Here, I gotta say, frankly speaking, it's good, and it probably works for like some startups and like smaller sized businesses. However, I'm very much a fan of having granulated tasks and tasking ChatGPT with one task at a time, trying to actually have a communication, like a dialogue with it. and reaching a decent result on a specific objective and not just, too open. Anyway, still have a look at it. It's relatively decent, especially how it clustered it already with ad groups, keywords in the ad groups and the specific ads. And long story short, it does an okay job, but here in this case, I'm honestly more of a fan to keep it more granulated in the task. So what I think, and this is also interesting, to be fair, like I let it came up with this, and then I was kind of disappointed with what happened. Is like, which other targeting options apart from keywords would you recommend? So, and this is 2 recommendations in one. Don't leave it at your initial prompt. Have a look at the result and then ask specific questions on how to optimize it, because that is actually going to specifically optimize it. So as you can see now, it now provided me with a really ton of advanced targeting options outside of the actual keyword targeting. So that's pretty neat. But I was still not really happy with it, because in my opinion, he completely missed out on retargeting. So I asked him again specifically, please give me your take on retargeting and how you would budget it. And then again, even though it didn't come up with it by itself, once I asked just by a very simple keyword, like his take on retargeting, he came up with, to be honest, the solution I would apply quite as well, like to allocate around 20 to 30% on retargeting and adjust based on ROI of the different campaigns. Like all the stuff that here comes up here, it's, let's say, between media and senior quality stuff, also with seasonal adjustments, frequency caps, multi-channel approaches. Like this is really decent stuff. So I say, hey, this is quite impressive now, not yet senior level, but still quite good. And then he came again up with advanced retargeting techniques and budgeting, which is sequential targeting, retargeting, which is relatively tough stuff. Same as with attribution models and budget targeting. It's pretty advanced here and very, very helpful indeed. So yeah, this was all very, very powerful so far for me. But for me personally, as I'm left-handed when it comes to code, I'm really like far away from code. The most important function GPT offers me these days is actually being able to write scripts in JavaScript, which then can be implemented in Google Ads account to either run scripts that automatically perform optimizations, or at least label things that I can easier identify as potential for actual changes then. So there can be different ones. I think budget pacer is a good one. Automated bidding adjustments is a good one, but a very simple one, but still very powerful one would be the labeling script, which labels low CTRs and high CPCs, for example, and literally just ask it to do that, copy the code, go to your Google Ads account, go to the script section, which is here, and then you press new script, go to new script, and then you pretty much just copy paste the code in there, and the rest is basically done by itself. Well, it's loading critically long. I don't know why. But I did anyway already apply the script. I'm just going to quickly show you how the script looks. Hopefully it's going to load. Yeah, it does. So that's the script. I just copy pasted in here. And basically what it does, I already explained that, is it labels the high CPCs and low CTRs. So you can obviously define the range which it should label, but super powerful. Instead of looking through the big data yourself, you can actually have it look through it and make it a lot easier for you to perform optimizations on the highlighted sections. So yeah, as Twan also said before, like big data was desperately waiting for big brain in order to leverage it. And I think AI actually is that big brain to finally leverage the big data that has been in this, in the conversation for the past 15 years. So yeah, basically just running through, sorry, I could have actually had this open, but that's what we basically went through now. Like these are the main points we're using ChatGPT for in order to optimize our campaigns or the campaigns of our clients or agency clients. And well, for now, it's literally just ending into a Q&A, which I'm going to start with from my understanding, since I also had a brief time at Google directly, Google is going to obviously leverage AI itself in a very profound way. They're already working on it. They have BART in place, and there's more and more AI features taking place in Google Ads itself. Responsive search ads based on landing page inputs. All the conversion optimization bidding strategies are based on AI, where basically Google identifies clicks that usually yield conversions and now is bidding higher on those clicks because it kind of like already artificially intelligently knows, they or those kind of customer segments are going to actually make a difference and going to make incremental conversions. So my take on it, there is going to be more and more tools out there that are going to be externally made specifically for Google Ads. But at the end of the day and in the long run, I think Google itself is going to run the game of AI in Google Ads at least. But just to quickly give you a little insight in what other tools are out there, there is plugins that are still relevant for ChatGPT, and one of them is actually a plugin that runs through the browser, which you download it in the browser, have your actual plugin in the browser, and then the whole interface of ChatGPT changes, and you can then, for example, go in here and see that there is prompts already created from different people, which have been used several thousand times. And it kind of like gives it a little bit of an interface of how your prompt is structured. So I encourage you to also experiment with that a little bit. It's fairly new, but still have a look at tools like that as well. And well, obviously there's going to be more and more tools as we go along in our day-to-day life. So this is such a dynamic space. So I encourage everyone to just download it, use it, experiment with it, and keep yourself in the loop. And without any more stuff, well, please, let's have some questions, if you will, of course. And please don't forget, anyone who wants to have a copy of the prompts we have here with all the modifiers, it's 11 short prompts that are quite powerful, we think. Please feel free to reach out to me either via LinkedIn or via the email address that's written on the last slide. So you can actually see that here. Feel free to reach out to me, as I said. And thank you all for tuning in. Sorry for it being a bit monologic, but that's kind of like the thing of a webinar. Happy to engage in dialogues as well, as I said, and any questions, feel free to shoot them.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Thank you to Twan as well. Now it's time for the Q&A session. Like Stefan said, if you want to have the prompt that he already used, you can send him an email. We were going to write Stefan's email on the comments, so you can send him an email. We're going to start with one question that we received via email, and Stefan will help us with this.
Well, the potential, yes. Like it's like, as I said, like I'm not a wizard, neither am I an AI expert. I'm a marketeer that really is in love with marketing and brand in particular since nearly 15 years now, I want to say. So from my perspective, it looks like it's going to make a lot of footwork and legwork automated, and it's going to kind of help freeing brain and creativity for things like ad creatives, forming deeper and more meaningful relationships with maybe content creators, collaborators. So I think the time investment is shifting from maybe not that relevant tasks to more relevant tasks. So at the end of the day, I think we just have more time to use for other things than just crunching numbers in campaigns. And I think that's good because there is a benefit of a human intelligence, which I call the original intelligence, and there's benefits of the artificial intelligence. And I think the main one being is that you can basically let it scrape and scroll through vast amount of data. And if you ask specific questions in the prompt, you're going to get results way quicker and way more accurate than normally having to crunch through the numbers yourself. What are the current capabilities and limitations of ChatGPT for Google advertising support? I mentioned this and I touched base on this very briefly in the webinar. At the moment, there's no possibility to directly connect ChatGPT or any other AI, from my knowledge, to the Google Ads accounts themselves. So there's no API, if you will. So there's no direct access to all hidden, I'm saying, but like I gotta say it that way, hidden settings, because as probably most of you know, as we're all in the ad space, Google Ads has quite a lot of buttons where you do not find them. Like there's lots of settings in the dark. So then sometimes the default setting on those settings is even harmful for your account. So that being said, the limitation in my world is definitely that it can't access all the vast setting possibilities that Google Ads offers. And therefore it's limited by data in the beginning, because you can't share all data. You can only share campaign data or anything you can export out of Google Ads, but you can't share the actual full array of settings. And that's why, it's definitely still limited. Do you think that you would get the same recommendations when asking for marketing strategy for US and EU markets, for example, or can GPT adjust? No, very, very good question, actually. I would always modify, and I did that. I didn't explain it properly because time was so short and I kind of wanted to go through all the prompts. So I lacked a little bit of details in some of the prompts explanations. But very much true. Like I would always try to modify and brief as good as possible, as if, like, think about it, if you want to brief one of your juniors or medias, they also appreciate a narrative, they appreciate context, they appreciate additional info. And that being said, just be as specific as possible, and you're going to get also more specific results. That's a good question. I think it's on 3, probably none of them. On 3.5, most of them. To be honest, Miss Slotboom, I'm not 100% certain that I can't answer that question properly because I didn't try it. We're running on ChatGPT 4 ever since it was possible. And I would actually also recommend everyone to do that, since the investment is relatively small and the actual value provided by it is relatively big. What reports do I need to generate? Can you walk us through those? Thanks for the question, Matteo. It's a very good question. As Twan said in the beginning of the call, that we're now actually have a separate entity within our accelerator incubator, Home of Growth, if anyone knows that. And we have actually 2 companies working on AI now, one specifically very close to label none, called Scaling. And we're actually going to have a webinar session and a webinar row with them, and one of the topics for sure will be this, and they're going to go much more in detail how to actually generate those reports. But I think even more importantly, and that's where it becomes, I think, incredibly powerful, how to automate those processes as well. So probably if some of you heard of Auto GPT or Agent GPT, those are things where GPT basically, after giving it basic instruction plus a specific prompt, is executing more or less autonomously. So there's quite a lot of powerful stuff in automation. Probably it's also along the lines with Zapier, for example, the glue of the internet, as some call it. I think those things are going to fly in the future. So 5 years from now, it's going to be normal to have everything automated, and it's more like a question, what are we actually still going to do manually? So that being said, hopefully in the future, Matteo, you're going to tune into Scaling and listen to our friend Bart. Speaking of Bart, Amit Agarwal, do you think Google Bart can help in the integration instead of ChatGPT? What I think to be true is that even though there is a big audience for Google Ads usage, still the way larger audience is the everyday Larry. So people who are just using the internet and for lower and less complex stuff. So I think Bart is very much specifically created for the wider mass. And they're going to integrate parts of that technology, not labeled at Bart, into Google Ads directly, rather than creating a tool that builds on top of Google Ads. We did use Bard also for Google Ads optimization, but at the end of the day, I was way more satisfied with the results from ChatGPT. What are the current capabilities and limitations of ChatGPT for Google advertising support? I think we had that questions more or less. So yeah. Cool. Like, thanks for all the questions, first of all. And if there's anything coming to mind at any point later, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. We shared information that we hope will be very helpful and insightful to you. And it's always interesting learning how AI is changing the marketing landscape. And now I want to say that the webinar recording will be available on our website. We already shared the link on the comments. We are going to do it again. And yeah, if you want more information about the prompts, you can send an email to Stefan's email that is right now on the screen. And he will share with you all the information he shared with us today. So this is the final moment of our webinar. Thank you again. And I hope to see you in our next webinar again. Okay, see ya.